Greetings, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. It is your girl, Creatrix here, all right? And today we are going to discuss a phenomenon that is very beautiful and magical, right? And that is earned. This is not something that everyone in every lifetime gets to experience. It's actually very rare to experience what it is that we're going to be talking about today, and that is the union. Okay, that's what I call it, the union between man and woman. That is just like a key and lock, right? So it's not just the union between any man and any woman, but it's the person that mirrors your energy at the point where you've reached a certain level in this game that we call life on this earth realm, where you guys get to team up. You become a team, okay? And that is what marriage between a man and a woman is you team up in this game to further your progress, all right? To further your dominion, okay, over this realm. So in order to get to this position, you would have already earned it, which means that as an individual, you've taken the steps to not only prepare yourself for this union, which is built into the levels before you get to the level of the union, but also to achieve your individual success, all right? To conquer your individual goals and, the things that are necessary in order for you to develop as a single being before you become one with another. Okay, but before we discuss the actual union portion, I want to talk about the energies of, masculinity and femininity, right? The two opposite yet equal energies that exist on this realm, okay? These are dual energies. They go with each other, yet they are very different in nature, okay? Because they're meant to balance one another out, all right? Because when they come together, it's like two pieces of a puzzle, right? You can't have a puzzle piece that exactly mirrors the other puzzle piece. No, they have to be like a lock and key. They have to be different, all right? Yet fit into each other in order to be able to work. So everyone possesses masculine and feminine energies, right? The thing is that with a lot of us, when we forget who we are, once we come to this realm, right? In a lot of us, there's this battle between the two. And it manifests in everyday life, all right? We see it, men and women going at it, not being able to communicate, not being able to understand each other, not working together, right? And this is a manifestation of what's going on in each of us as individuals internally. Our masculine and feminine energies are not able to coincide, constantly battling one against the other, right? And not only that, but some of us have incomplete forms of masculinity or femininity, or imbalanced forms of masculinity and femininity. For example, a victim mentality, or always wanting someone to do something for you. That is a toxic form of femininity. And we can have toxic forms of masculinity where we are trying to control or micromanage or manipulate something with our physical bodies, right? The feminine energy can also manipulate femininely or strategically in that way as well. So through these levels, right, when we're playing the game and we're doing our healing and evolution and we're going up in the levels, we will begin to experience a calming, a balancing effect between our masculine and feminine energies, right? And I kind of discussed this briefly in a video that I did called The Holy Trinity. So this video that I'm doing right now kind of matches with that. If you haven't gone and seen the Holy Trinity video, I highly suggest it, because I talk about the archetypes of the feminine and the masculine coming together within us as individuals, within one single person, to be able to birth a new version of us, all right? And that happens over and over and over again. And that is what the Holy Trinity embodies or is supposed to signify. It's a metaphor for the union of the masculine and feminine that happens within us to be able to birth a new version of ourselves, okay? So throughout evolution, when we're moving through our healing journey, when we're moving up these levels, all right, while playing the game, our masculine and feminine energies are being healed, right? Like if you're the type of person to where you're codependent and you wait for somebody to do something for you, your masculine energy needs to heal. All right. But if you're the type of person to where you are hyper independent and you only want to do something by yourself because you feel like you're the only one who can do it the way that you do it, your femininity needs to heal. Okay. It's a balance. You need to be able to rest in your femininity and also be active in your masculinity. All right. And that is very important because your masculine and feminine energies are going to marry. All right. And what that means is, and how that practically manifests in our life, is that your masculine and feminine energy is actually going to work together to help you achieve your goals and manifest your desires. Okay. And what that looks like is it's like having your own personal assistant inside of yourself, right? So your femininity is representative of your intuition, your ability to channel, right? To pull, to attract, to magnify, or to also be a magnet, right? And your masculine nature, where your masculinity comes in, is to be able to actually take action on your intuition, right? So, for example, you have a goal in mind, right? Let's say you want to purchase a home. So there are things, your masculine nature, your logic will say, all right, these are the things that we need to do in this order to be able to buy a house. But your feminine nature actually wants to sit back, relax, and wait for the go ahead, right? Your intuition to kick in to say, this is when we should take this action. This is how we should go about this. It's better to do things this way. Maybe today we'll take a break because the person that our lender or the person who's lending us the mortgage, it'll be better to talk to this person instead of this person. All right. And they're only available tomorrow. So you get what I'm saying? Like you have a goal in mind, and your femininity and your masculinity actually work together to bring about that goal. All right, when it's time to take action, your masculinity will use logic and energetic movement to get whatever it is done. And your feminine nature will wait and attract the rest of the equation to be able to build a full picture. All right, and then the two of them come together to birth this goal. All right, it's literally like having a personal assistant in your mind, in your body, right? To where you don't have to overthink, you don't have to analyze too much. It's like your masculine and your femininity are working together to create a very rewarding experience for you instead of you having to overthink and only lean on your masculinity. That's going really that's going to tire you out because we're not built for that. No matter if you're a man or a woman, leaning on your masculinity and your logic and overthinking and always taking action, you're going to get burnt out. And on the flip side, if you're only waiting and attracting and just not acting on your intuition, that's also going to block you from achieving certain goals. So the masculine and the feminine have to come together to be able to work together once they are healed. All right. And you will literally start to feel this happening in your body as you ascend through the levels. Okay. And another thing that happens is literally your left and right side of your body will start to fuse together. The left hemisphere of your brain and the right hemisphere of your brain are literally going to fuse together. You will create more neural connections between the left and right side of your body, and you are going to even look more symmetrical. You're going to be thinking better. Your axons, right? I don't know if you guys are into neurological sciences, but we have axons that help the nerves communicate, right? And sending messages through the nerves and receiving messages through your nerves, you need axons. All right. Your myelin sheath, which are the fatty tissue that are wrapped around these axons that helped that help the electricity or the signals quickly pass through the nerves, right? So like the firing capability of your nerves will increase, and you'll have actually more connections between the left and right side of your hemisphere, because the fatty tissue, the myelin sheath, the axons, your nervous system in general will begin to strengthen. And not just your nervous system, actually your muscles, all right, will be able to communicate with the left and right side of your body. You might even find that you're actually ambidextrous, and instead of only using your right hand or your left hand to write or draw or whatever, you can use both. It might not be automatically the greatest, on your less used hand, but you'll see that you have a desire, or you have a need or a want to be able to use both hands or both sides of your body. It will manifest as you wanting to strengthen both sides of your body. You'll become more aware of, like, oh, my left leg is actually a lot weaker than my right, or your quad, or your left butt cheek isn't as strong as your right glute. So you'll begin to recognize these things, and it's because you need to work on them. You need to work on strengthening your muscles on both sides of your body to become more equal. All right, and this desire, this want, is being signaled by it's because you've reached a place in your level, or in your growth, in your ascension, to where like your masculine and feminine energies want to be balanced. So it manifests physically as your body actually wanting to be balanced as well, right? It's crazy, it's amazing, but it's something that happens that is not talked about, right? And you will actually feel your brain, it'll feel maybe like not a headache, but you'll have different sensations in your mind and in your brain. All right, and that is your crown chakra opening up, balancing itself. All right, the masculine and the feminine energies balancing itself. And this is actually preparing you for a Kundalini awakening. All right, your body is being balanced, and to be able to generate Kundalini energy that's going to move up from your roots all the way through your chakras, all the way up to the crown, past. You know what I'm saying? There's more chakras that we don't even see or know, but there are chakras in our aura, and the energy is going to just, I'm seeing like flood, like the energy is going to flood all of your chakras, right? And for this to happen, right, and it's possible to do this on your own, and there is a level of Kundalini awakening that you can have on your own. But in order to get the full and best experience, you are going to need to meet with your mate. All right, and that is the reason why we are constantly pitted against each other in terms of man and, all right, we are constantly pitted against each other because they know, the powers that be, all right, these power structures, these secret societies, right? I want to say the government. Okay, don't put it past the government. They know that meeting with that special person, meeting with your soulmate or your twin flame, is going to allow you to unlock a different level of power. Okay, because this is something that is well known and studied, because we've been playing the game on the earth for a very long time, right? These secret schools and secret knowledge is very much known, like the occult, right? We all know that once you meet this special person that's meant for you, it's like game over for everyone else, basically. Like, it is a very big feat, all right? It's a very big accomplishment to have met the person that you're supposed to team up with. And once you meet this person and you begin practicing the Kundalini awakening, right? The intimacy that's necessary for this, you will begin to experience another level, another shift, right? Your body is going to respond differently than the previous times that you've had intimacy with other people, right? Karmic sex is gonna be nothing compared to soulmate or twin flame sex. It's gonna be a whole different level, because it's a full body experience. Not only your body, but your spirit, your mind, everything is gonna open up to this person, right? Because there's a level of safety that you're gonna experience that starts in the root chakra, right? And all of your chakras are going to be engaged in this process, all right? And now, for me personally, I have not experienced this yet, so I'm assuming that this isn't something I don't know. It's like I don't to be honest, I don't know if it's something that is like going to be like right off the bat when you find your person and the first time you guys do it, like it's gonna be that. I'm sure it's gonna be something special. And I'm I'm just a girl, okay? So obviously, I think this the first time is gonna be special, but it really is, all right. Whether you're a man or a woman, just know it's gonna be different, right? But I'm not sure if it's something that you both have to work through, like breathing exercises and practicing tantra and things like that, right? So, but I do know that it is going to generate a Kundalini awakening, and that might be what I'm picking up is that it might actually be orchestrated by your guides. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that you guys are actively working towards, but it is something I'm channeling now. It is something that your guides and the universe and energy are going to bring to you, and you might not even realize when it's going to happen. Okay, so I do feel like there is a build up to that point. Once you guys start lock and keying, you feel me, that lock and key situation is going to turn into a like y'all are going to unlock something, right? At first, maybe the lock and key fit, but maybe y'all don't know how to use the lock and key properly yet. But it is eventually, I think, like when you guys when yeah, when you get the hang of it, it definitely is going to unlock something, and it's definitely an awakening type of experience. Okay, so this is the phenomenon that is going to happen once you get onto a certain level, and a lot of different people are going to experience this lifetime. Okay, so it's very exciting because it's a rare occasion, right? You have to reach a certain level of understanding yourself, ascension, to be able to even get near your person, right? Because the universe is not going to mirror back to you something that isn't you, right? So you have to reach the level of healing and growth, evolution, to be able to attract someone who's in that same level. And that's why it's very rare to have two people get to that point who are actually locking keys, because there's so many distractions, right? Like it's so many people who are stuck on the lower levels that haven't even been able to get high enough to be able to experience this, right? And even if somebody has wealth, right? If somebody has acquired wealth and rewards to where they look like they have reached a certain level, that doesn't necessarily mean that they've had the amount of healing that's necessary to be able to find their forever person, right? So, and just to let you know, wealth, the type of wealth and reward that's acquired through taking the correct path or the righteous path is very rare. A lot of people only have temporary wealth. Okay, like the people we see in Hollywood and the famous people and all of that stuff, like a lot of them haven't acquired their wealth the correct way because they haven't been able to heal the impatience wound, the time wound. It takes actual healing to be able to receive your reward. And the reason why their rewards are temporary is literally because they haven't healed. They won't be able to maintain that reward, because the way that this earth realm works is that every level builds on each other. So if you skip a level, you're missing all of those lessons that are required to maintain the wealth. Like, for example, if you haven't mastered being able to undergo spiritual attack and still maintain your level of sanity, or to be able to know and understand what's going on so that you keep going, then you will lose it, because you will be spiritually attacked once you are wealthy, because people will see that you have wealth. So people will want to be in competition with you. You'll be attacked all at once, coming from all different sides, right? And that's why a lot of people lose their wealth, okay, before they pass on in this realm. That's why they lose it. It's very rare that people actually get to generate generational wealth. All right. So once you find your forever person, not only will you both have a Kundalini experience that's going to change the trajectory of both of y'all's lives, you will be able to unlock different parts of your DNA that were previously dormant to help you continue up the levels, because it's kind of like you're building new armor to be able to sustain going up the ascension ladder. There are parts of your DNA that unlock different codes for you to be able to access different gifts, all right, that are going to help protect you, that are going to help elevate you through this game. All right, so it's a very special gift to be presented with your forever person. And I'm channeling, okay, and I don't want to offend anybody. And just know that I love everybody, and my guides love everybody. The Most High loves everybody, no matter what your sexual orientation is. But this lock and key that I'm speaking about is going to be a lock and a key. It's going to be just that, all right? It's a yoni and a lingam, and that's Sanskrit for a V and a P. All right, so that's what it's gonna be. All right, a P and a P are not gonna create a Kundalini awakening the way that a P and a V will, or a V and a V is not gonna create a Kundalini awakening the way that a P and a V will. If you catch my drift. Okay, and so I know that's difficult to grasp, and if you're okay with where you are, that's fine. But for those of you who feel a sense of wanting to continue your journey and to see where it takes you, if you're curious about how far in your healing journey, how far does this path take you, can you really reach like the optimal, you know what I'm saying, the energy, right? If you're curious about that, then it might feel difficult, but take a look at your sexual orientation and ask yourself, why? How did I get here? Why do I like the same sex? Why don't I feel balanced in my own body, right? Because some of us feel like we're supposed to be in different bodies, right? And ask yourself why that is. Where did that trauma begin, right? And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I love you very much, and I know it's difficult to ask yourself that type of question, all right? But if you are brave enough to do that, then you're going to be rewarded for that. Right? So yeah, not only do we integrate our masculine and feminine energies within ourselves, but as above, so below, as within, so without, right? We also integrate masculine and feminine energies when it comes to our actual being, okay, with our actual forever partner, right? So once you get into a union, into a marriage, and I'm talking about a spiritual marriage. I'm not talking about the marriage that you do with your state or the government to identify y'all as married. That's fake, right? That's part of the secondary matrix. I'm talking about the marriage that exists between two people that is sanctified ceremoniously by the spiritual realm, where your spirit guides and their spirit guide come together to create an alliance. All right, because that's literally what happens. You adopt their spirit guides and they adopt your spirit guides, and you begin to start a family that way. All right, this is the real union. Okay, when you marry a karmic, boy, sometimes we be marrying people and our spirit guides be feuding, right? Your spirit guide don't like their spirit guide don't like your spirit guides. They can't agree, this and that. They want to break y'all up. And sometimes we experience it as spiritual attack, like, oh, they're attacking my marriage and da da da. Nah, it's because y'all are not meant to be together forever. All right, sometimes we come into union with karmics to be able to experience, and then it's time to go, right? But a lot of us have attachment. A lot of us don't understand what's going on, right? We're not in communication with our spirit guides, for our spirit guides to be able to tell us, like, hey, this isn't your forever person. You learned your lesson already. It's time to get a move on, right? And then we have wounds, like single parent wounds, to where we don't want to experience single parenthood, just in case if we had children with these karmics, we don't want to let go, which, if you can avoid having children with karmics, that is amazing. However, if you've had children with karmics, you're just gonna have to take that on the chin. If you know your partner is a karmic and you're not supposed to be with them, which you'll know deep down inside, like, yeah, it's time to go, kid or not. It's time to separate and go, because then you are sacrificing your journey on this earth realm, right? Not disappointing, but really basically sacrificing your spirit guides as well to be able to stay with someone who doesn't even value you, right? So yeah, that's a no-no. No matter what the situation, circumstance is, I promise you, you will be okay. If you know you're not with your forever person, it's time to bounce. It's time to bounce. Okay, everything will work itself out. All right, don't ever choose to sacrifice your journey on this earth realm for anyone or anything. Okay, any illusion, it's all an illusion at the end of the day, right? So why would you sacrifice something real for an illusion, right? So when you come together with your forever person, um your spirit guides are going to work to keep you together, actually. Okay, you're going to feel like even when you want to fall apart, even when you want to separate, you're going to experience your spirit guides actually mediating, in a sense, right? Making things better, trying to bring y'all back together, discouraging separation. Okay, so it's going to be a very beautiful experience that I'm sure is very different for a lot of us. Okay, and what also happens is that you guys become like partners in this game, so you're going to start to move up the levels together. That's why y'all had to meet at a certain level, because then you're going to move up, you're going to ascend together. So your ascension is your partner's ascension, right? And that's how you guys mirror each other to be able to not drift apart, right? When you're with a karmic, often you find yourself drifting apart, right? And that's your cue to see that, all right, me and this person are not compatible. Because when you're with your forever person, y'all are not going to drift apart. You're going to evolve together, you're going to build together. All right, and it even might be a situation where somebody is good in one area. It's going to be a situation like that, where someone is really good in one area and you're really good in another area, and you depend on each other. You're interdependent on each other to be able to knock it out, knock the levels out. Okay, one leans on the other when they need to, and the other leans on the other one when they need to. Right, it's a true partnership, and that's something that we had to learn going through the lower levels, right, to be able to attain the union in the first place. And the type of children that come through these type of unions are very sacred, powerful children, okay, that are going to be extremely like just great at this game. Okay, because these are going to be children that already reached a certain level in a previous lifetime in this game, that now have to come through, they have to come through a soulmate or forever person union in order to be able to continue their progress. So these, I call these children baton babies, because literally like their parents get to a certain level and then they hand them the baton via the birth canal, and then these kids they don't start off from level 0. These children are going to start off from whatever level they left off at. So just imagine a world where these, like, I just heard demigods, where these demigods are being born into, and like pure chaos and destruction. That's what I'm picking up from these baton kids. Like, they are going to come here to really like destroy and cause chaos on this realm in a very good way, in order to clean, in order to make new the planet Earth. All right, and these, wow, this is crazy what I'm channeling. Like, these children are going to wipe the slate clean. That's why they don't want these sacred unions to come together, because these children are literally extremely threatening to the establishment, to the power structures. All right, that these children that come through the power union is what I just heard. All right, so yeah, that is what you can expect when you reach this level. All right, it's going to be a very powerful union. You're going to see, we are going to see people reach these levels of being able to attract their forever person. All right, and that's what's going to bring about this new world, this new earth realm. That's what's going to like decimate the slate, like get this slate clean. All right, oh my god, I'm stuttering. Like, that is so amazing. That's so amazing. So yeah, that is the video for today. I just feel like there was something that I wanted to say, but it slipped my mind. Something that I channeled. Maybe it's not supposed to make it into this video. All right, so that's fine. That's that. If you feel inclined to, please consider following me on my social media, especially TikTok, because that's where I post the most. All right, I also do readings on there. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. All right, and I will see you in the next video. Love you all so much. Peace. Creatrix out.